father was born in Brooklyn in 1908, and like so many kids from those immigrant streets, pushed, bulled, and bullied his way through the rough crowds, and, as they said back then, made something of himself. The making did not come without cost. In the rubble of the Depression, he gave up on his dream of practicing law, and down that same economic highway, he came to an elemental fork. Go left and be a model dad like Ward Cleaver. Go right, build a business, and leave the raising of the kids to his wife. So, 6 days a week, my father left the house before everyone was awake, and 12 hours later, came home long after the family had eaten and disappeared behind bedroom doors. Sundays, he did paperwork. The man was so industrious, so single-minded, that he missed out on every soccer, baseball, and basketball game I played at Wheatley High. Never went to Ebbets Field. Never took me fishing. That said, the great sacrifices my old man made did not come without some reward. Applying shoulder to the wheel, he made a small business big enough to buy a ranch house in a subdivision in suburban Candy Lane. That's not a joke. I grew up on Candy Lane. And a few years later, traded the dependable Buick for his dreamboat, a 1956 Cadillac Coupe de Ville. My old man stood next to that powder blue beauty with a driveway-wide grin. His brothers, Murray, Hawaiian shirts, and Mac, Argyle knee socks, who also made somethings of themselves, drove Chrysler Imperials. There was no contest. And I was pleased as punch for my dad, at least until I began to wonder if it was possible that he liked the Caddy more than he liked me. And during the reign of the second Coupe de Ville, the 59, with the big gaudy fins, I finally bellowed out all my adolescent confusion and rage, pointing right at the behemoth in the garage. He had no idea what I was ranting about. So in 1968, when Patty got pregnant and Dad was just settling into Cadillac number 5, I righteously vowed never to put money or career before family. I would be a good dad, a great dad. If God himself had pulled an Abraham on me, I would gladly submit to plague, pestilence, and Plymouths before I sacrificed my child or owned a Cadillac. So you know where this is going. But let me drive you there on my own route. I went on to lead the life I threatened I would. Went to every game, every concert, every ceremony, standing proudly next to my 7 kids just as he stood beaming beside his Cadillacs. And from the driver's seat of a long succession of VW vans and other clunky counterculture cars full of stickers and dents and the spills of 7 children, I found myself driving a rusty Honda Passport that whined and grunted and practically begged me to put it down. Which was then. As these things happen in the karmic circle of life, my wife got a call from her father, who had recently bought a Cadillac SRX and hated driving it. He offered it to us. For free. Thus caught in the one-way traffic jam of my own making, I bellowed, "No! Look at me. I'm a beach dog. I'm a hipster. I have an effing ponytail." She looked at me like I was nuts, like my late father would have looked at me. She was right, of course. So there I was, all those incarnations later, Sam Lewis's angry boy, all grown up and commandeering the capitalist pigmobile down Main Street in our funky upstate town, enduring endless razzing from friends and foes, and what's worse, enjoying driving that lavish beast. Elbow out the window, Dylan on the 6 CD changer, I knew for the first time my father's pleasures and the cosmic-sized sacrifices that went into attaining them. Eventually, the novelty faded, and I traded down for something I could drive on a beach. But when I handed over the keys to the salivating Toyota salesman, I understood in my bones that while my old man may not have been a model dad like Ward Cleaver, as a son, I was one big, spoiled, ungrateful pain in the ass.